everyone is going to say AI, but maybe people don't say AI for the right reasons. I want to say AI because if you use it with the right mindset and if you understand a little bit about it, then you're going to have better results. And it is further enhanced for me in a way that I feel like, yeah, I'm not being replaced at all by this thing. I'm being enhanced by this thing because it's still me who is in charge. I'm still telling it what to do and what to look at, and I'm still saying, write the Terraform block this way. Don't use that provider.
Carl Lindberg, thank you so much for joining Integration Love Story.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
So, for those who have been following us, know that since the last episode, we started with a new intro where we actually I introduce you, and then you can correct me if I'm wrong, or emphasize anything if you want to talk more about that. So
Yeah,
I did some research. Carl Lindberg, you are working at Xenit as an expert engineer, and if I understand it correctly, you're in your second year of an Azure MVP. So
correct.
not only working at Zenit, you're also a collaborator or producing stuff for us to take part of. Um, except for engineering and technique and Azure MVP, I found that you are a fan of strength training, since everyone knows in the IT sector that we are sitting still a lot, and
Mm,
yeah, body
mm.
improvement is important. And I have a question regarding what is your record in bench press, but that can take later. Self improvement is also something that is important for you. I saw that you read a lot of books, so I have a question of the most eye-opening book that inspired you the most, but that we can also talk about later. I tried to find
Mm.
something else except for tech and except for that you like strength training, and I saw that you follow IFK Göteborg, the football team, and Frölunda. So I guess that you're a hockey and football fan also.
Yes.
All right. I found
Wow.
something in tech, yeah. But
Amazing. You
anyhow,
know me better than I know myself.
but
Yeah.
anyhow, yeah, I saw that you started a journey, which I think that's been ongoing, and I think that your passion of sharing is also what brought you as an Azure MVP. I guess that that's why, and I guess that a lot of people that work with you enjoy working with you, since you are passionate about sharing, and because if you would not be so passionate about that, you would not be an Azure MVP. So, Carl, was
Yeah.
that a good representation of who you are?
Well, I'm floored. You done your due diligence. Yeah. Yeah. I don't think I can add much. It's like you know me back and forth.
Which is the book that you're currently reading?
Uh, so I'm currently actually rereading two books, and you had a question there about which one was the most eye-opening book for
Yeah.
me, and I guess it depends on what category of life
Mm,
we're looking into. But I think as far as like productivity goes
mm,
and organizing your work, I am an avid fan of Getting Things Done from David Allen. Though I'm not like a you will mention getting things done, and there's like a hardcore community about
mm,
that, but I'm not that. The main thing I taken from that book is just getting things out of your head and onto a piece of paper or a document on your computer or some like your his quote is your mind is for having ideas, not storing them. And I've found that no matter what category of life we're in, that is pretty true.
mm,
And the second book is making work visible,
mm.
just because not sure why. I'm fascinated by like how can I plan my work today, and how can I do it tomorrow? Are there any improvements I can make and things
Is
like
that
that.
you
So
mean calendar-wise, or what exactly you mean making the work visible?
making work visible by damn. I blanked on the author. I will get back about that, but it's a lot about like how you can work with Kanban. What is
Ah,
Kanban? What should go on there? What shouldn't go on there?
Mm,
There's like 150 different ways to do Kanban, but it's basically how do we as a team, if we take it to that level, how do we visualize what we have to do? So a common complaint can be, I have too much stuff to do. And then you can sit down and like, okay, but what do you actually have to do? And then you write it down. So again, getting things done, getting it out of your head, and then making it visual. So that's my 2 solid reads for now.
Great advice. Now I'm like this because you read a lot of books in your life, and I think that I read the Getting Things Done, but I will definitely pick it up again. Yeah.
But I like
Yeah.
one thing he said. It depends on what place are you in life now. So I assume rereading those two specific books, that mean that he need to bring back the structure in
What
some things.
what was it now? Yeah.
Yes,
How did I do this?
Yeah.
there is some kind of pain now that he need to maybe eliminate,
Yeah.
right? So we just
Yeah.
integrate.
It's whenever you learn new things, you realize that, oh, I actually don't know that much at all. So you have to reread and then you put it into perspective of what you know now. So the first time I read the book, I did everything like hardcore by the book. But now when I read it, I'm like, oh yeah, that was actually a good thing. But it doesn't work with my life right now and the way I do things. But it's a good take and I can do it this way instead. And that's, I think, the benefit of reading is how you can connect the dots to other things you're doing.
Yeah. Before we go into tech, I guess that this question will lead us into the tech part of your life. But how does a normal day look in your life, Carl? Normal working
Yeah,
life, but then after work as well.
sure. So, oh, good question. Everything like melts together, but I I am like you mentioned, I'm with Xenit, so I'm working as a consultant where I only have one customer, so I can spend all my time there. And the mission is basically I am part of we call it like an enabling team or a platform team, where we want to enable the customer to take full advantage of, if it's Azure or if it's GitHub or if it's Power Platform or Atlassian, like enabling other people to focus on their work, and we make sure that the plumbing and everything works beside it. But that can be anything from troubleshooting an Azure firewall because some network connectivity isn't working, to doing code reviews for people in my team. We are pretty strict about, even if I'm like, I wouldn't say this, but like if I'm the best in the world at writing this Terraform code snippet, I always have something I've missed, almost most certainly. And so we're pretty religious with the code reviews, but so that could be a part of it, and then just meetings and planning. And if I get to choose, I spend most of the time in VS Code and those types of things. But the other part is they are a part of it too. But yeah, days could be very different. So some days it's a lot about just in the trenches writing code. Other days could be more meetings, making maybe we are trying to figure out how we should work. Like maybe we have a process that isn't how we would like it to be, or maybe we have a challenge, something we have to solve. And yeah, just everyday life. And I try to, like you mentioned, Robin, I'm very much into strength training. So for me, like I love my job and I love the job that we are doing, but it's not very physical, but it's very mentally straining. You're pretty tired mentally. And when I've learned to recognize when my mental capacity is up, or when the RAM is filled, if you will. Then I go and do strength training, and I lift some heavy ass weights, or I run, or I pedal on the bike, or whatever, and just make sure that I'm humbled, and then I feel like I recharged, and then I'm back again, and then I can sit on the way I've structured it with YouTube, which is like almost its own job in addition to this,
Mm.
is that then I can come back and then I can spend 1 hour, 2 hours every night, like writing a script or editing or anything YouTube related.
Mm.
And if I do any more of that, my girlfriend will be pissed off with me. So then I have to leave it. And then but that could be a typical day. Then I sleep very
I
good.
like what you said about strength training and being humbled.
Yeah.
There's nothing worse or more humbling than to be in a deep squat and realizing I cannot go up
I
now.
cannot go.
Yes. Yes.
Or
Yes.
this, but
Yeah.
you had a question about the weight.
Yeah, the bench press. Is it something? I mean, that's also a
Oh,
question.
Yes,
The record.
I am
yeah.
curious.
I've not tested my 1 rep max in ages, but I have done 100 kilograms for 3 reps for 3 sets, I guess is most
Oh, that's
weight
impressive.
wise.
It's really
Oh,
good.
thank you.
No.
I feel like everyone watching is
Yes.
gonna be like, that ain't even shit.
No, but like
But
for me, or maybe because I'm scared, because
yeah,
every
yeah,
time I'm
yeah,
sitting there, I'm lying down and waiting for it to come. I know that one day my arms will
yeah,
fail me,
Yeah.
and then I'll be in big
yeah,
trouble. So 100 is like a
yeah.
lot. Good job.
Thank you. I find it enjoyable because it's me versus me every time. And so, and some days you're not as strong, and some days you don't know where all of this energy is coming from. But that's how athletes have it as well, I guess. So
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, that's good, and I also liked. I want just to reflect on one thing that you said there about being humble, because do you feel that you are during your day? Do you feel actually that you are an expert most of the time, or do you
Mm.
question that as well?
Very good question. I I would say both, depending on who I'm talking to. So one part about me was like I enjoy teaching people,
Mm.
and I actually watched your episode with Scott Hanselman, which,
Ah,
by the way, awesome episode.
thank you.
He said something that resonated with me a lot, and it's like I think you were talking about like, are you a professor, or why are you a professor,
Mm.
or like why do you do these things? And he said it is because it excites me so much to talk about these things, and that's how I feel if I'm like a mentor to someone. I'm very excited about the things we're going to talk about, and I feel very accomplished. I feel like an expert, and I feel like I'm good at the thing because and I'm also giving someone help. And on the other spectrum of that is I can go into a meeting with my mentor, which is Simon Gottschlag. I
Oh,
don't know
yeah,
if you know him.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
and,
know him.
yeah, yeah, and then I feel like, wow, I really don't know anything. Like, like so it's like you get a bit of both, and I think that's important. I think it's important to feel like you are making a difference, but it also is important to have someone who's like, yeah, this guy can teach me things, and I can learn. So you have to be humble in that regard as well.
When did you know that you were an expert?
I don't know if I ever thought of it just that way. I just like, uh, I guess it's been in different points in my career where I felt like, yeah, I'm pretty accomplished at what we're doing day to day. But then I also have to be careful, because if I feel like I'm not learning new things, then it's not so great, because then you're not going to be an expert for very long. So I don't sit on a daily basis and like, yeah, I'm an expert at this, but but
But
sometimes you feel accomplished.
but your title is expert engineering, and we in IT we love titles.
Good. Yeah.
Or do we? I don't
Yes,
know.
yes.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. No, I have a friend who is an actual engineer. Like, I don't have an engineering degree, but he has an actual engineering degree, and he's like, "What are you doing? This is not acceptable."
You're a
But
phony.
yeah, 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 yeah. So
Okay. Sorry, I just have a question because I was thinking you said that you liked sitting in VS Code. So I have a question about extensions. So what's the favorite extension and why is it Claude?
Well,
That was
yeah,
I will jump.
since you already know their favorite one, I'll talk about the second favorite one,
Yeah.
which is I mean, you can't go wrong with the Microsoft Terraform extension. Nowadays, you have to have it if you're like me.
Mm.
And I don't know, does GitHub Copilot qualify as an extension? It's technically an extension, but
Well, I don't know. But before it was an extension. Now it's just an essential. You just have to have it.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not something that you.
So one thing that is underrated, which maybe not everyone has suggested, is I have an extension called presentation mode that just it blacks out everything except for the code that you're looking at. Essentially, it's just full screen. And I find it helpful when you're doing screen recording sometimes, or if I just need a little bit of a screenshot, or if I'm sitting with someone and yeah, they can see their Teams messages going on, and they can see an Outlook pop up, and they can see things like we're gonna enable presentation mode, and we're gonna sit and we're gonna look at this code, and we're not gonna leave until you understand it. So
That seems like no. We are locked up now with this. That's a really good
But
one.
that's a good. I mean,
A good use
Yeah.
for it.
It's a very good use. I guess that I never heard of it. So
No, I know. Me too. I don't. I
Mm.
don't even think about those things. It's just. I had this
Yeah.
yesterday. I had this like 2 days ago.
you should have it.
Yeah, I know because I have this problem all the time.
Yes.
I really,
Yeah.
and I was like going into one presentation and it was live, and I had my screen there, and even though you blur some stuff
Mm.
screen and all of these things, but still,
Mm.
I felt like okay, now I'm out there.
Yeah.
All of me is out there now.
Yeah.
Whoever.
Yeah.
So,
But what about you guys? I want to hear your extensions because that's
oh,
always interesting.
well, I would say that all the like lately now, I have. What you said, you want to have something special now. It's a good question. I wasn't expecting this.
you can think about it, and then I can bring my story. I mean, I haven't been doing so much coding the last years since I moved to sales and marketing. But now I had heard about all of this AI fuss. I needed to test it because I am a coder from the beginning and developer, so I needed to try it and see how I can implement this AI agents in my work. And I was blown away about VS Code and Claude and my skills, that is, I mean, very very low, but still with those skills, what I could build and what I can be taking away from my daily work with just the knowledge I had with VS Code and Claude was amazing. So I need to say Claude.
Claude it is.
Yes, I don't know, but maybe I am been using lately. I am been trying to squeeze in what is the thing about Codex. So maybe that was one of like my latest extensions that I'm lately using heavily to understand what I can do with that. What's the difference between that and everything else?
I have a pretty fun use case, but I
Of
can save it for later.
yeah.
Yeah.
But also Logic App. That's not. It's not really for everyone because we do integrations and we have our extensions that you don't usually use on your side of work.
Yeah, it's integration. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Mm.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, and I need to. I need to think now. You make me want to open my VS Code and look actually.
Yeah.
It's not Carl.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm sorry, but I wasn't expecting your question. Good,
But a good one is the Azure Core tools. I assume you have it if you're working with Logic apps. I've used it to work with function apps because I'm trying to become better at C#, and so I'm not a developer. Like I'm not a software developer as a background, but I like to read and write code, and I'm trying to become better. And then if I just want to focus on like becoming better at C#, I don't want to focus on how do I deploy a function app in Azure in my lab. And so that if someone is in a similar position, I would recommend that tool, and then you can click up the function app, whatever. It's just a test thing, and then go to town.
Yeah, good. It's we now we're diving into the technicality, and I think we will go back there again now. But I want to just to take us back to one thing. Like you are a Azure MVP and you are an expert, so you walk around with those titles, with those things around you. Like you are the expert. You are expected to be something there all the time.
Mm.
Like, do you feel that you are really filling up this gaps, or like what do you feel about being? Did this really change how you carry yourself around things, or how do you actually put more energy on that since you became an MVP?
So my take is that Azure MVP and expert engineer are not titles I claimed. They are titles that were given to me by someone else. My main objective in life has always been to be a learner and a sharer of information, I guess you could say. So since I have this proclivity to, like, if I don't understand something, I go insane. Like, I need to understand what is the logic behind this. Like, why does this code work, or why does this technology work? And I put myself almost in manic situations sometimes where I just try to understand something, and then I learn a lot. And what I found, that's why I even started, the very first thing I did was start the blog I have. And one major reason for that was, like Scott said, he and I are excited about these things, so we want to talk about them. But also, they were, if you're trying to learn something, or if you are trying to become better at something, if I take this technology and I sit down with you, Ahmed and Robin, and I'm going to explain to you guys how this technology works, it is going to become very apparent to me quite fast if I have holes in my knowledge, if I don't understand it myself. And then when you write a blog post and it's something you're going to publish, or if you're going to publish a YouTube video, you don't want those information gaps. So because people are going to point them out, and that's a good thing, but because it forces me to fill those gaps. And all of that this leads to is just me having more understanding and better understanding. And then I can teach people, and then people look at me and say, wow, you are an expert, or you should be an MVP. So to me, it's not really a burden. I appreciate that I get recognition for things I do, but if I didn't get those titles, I would do it anyways, because that's just how I am as a person. It's the same thing about strength training and bodybuilding, or personal development, or like anything. I go, like I mentioned, I go almost manic about this. I just need to learn these things because I am looking for that next thing always that's gonna improve my life, or make me a better technician, or a better family member, or whatever you wanna call it.
That's really
Sorry,
great.
that was a long answer.
No,
That
but
was
it was a
actually
great
interesting.
answer.
Yeah.
It was a really good answer, and that's actually what I was trying to fish for, and it proves why you actually like have, like, you deserve what you are like now. It's really good
Thank you.
principle you have there. Thank you for a
Mm.
good answer there. But then also, like, now you have this personality, and you have this like identity of being the expert, being the MVP, and being like tech. It becomes your life. It's your life. It's your hobby on YouTube, and it's your work. It's not about going and like clocking in and out every day now.
Yeah.
But you mentioned that you don't have. I also don't have a degree in engineering, in IT engineering. Like I don't have that. I have another degree, but like we end up here, like we are now. But you don't have that as well, and you've been mentioning that quite fast there. How did you end up?
Mm. Mm. Yeah, how did I end up here? So I've always had an interest in computers, and like, always been a gamer when I was younger. And I think the first thing that I, when I was about like 11 or 12, I think I was playing. Are you guys familiar with Grand Theft Auto and San Andreas?
Definitely.
Yeah, of course. What are
Yes.
you asking?
Yes. So that game has something called San Andreas multiplayer, which is how you can play that game with other people, and they have these role-playing servers where you can be a gang member, like a street gang member, or you can be a mafioso, or you could be a cop or an FBI agent, or you could be a mechanic or a cab driver. And I played so much of that when I was younger that they had like this concept of a help chat. So if you were a new player, there were a lot of rules, and you had like a help chat where you could ask questions. So how does this work? Or what does this mean? Or what does this rule mean? And what I did was I was in that chat and was answering questions to these new players. I didn't get paid. I didn't get anything else. Just answering questions. And when you do this, eventually you become an administrator of the server. So we had a server about, I think we were about, at the peak, maybe 50,000 active players or
Wow.
something like that. But my role as an administrator on that server was to answer player reports and making sure people follow the rules. And then so they had a forum on the web. So I was a forum administrator. And that's when like things started really clicking for me, because then, this is like super long tangents, but you could buy titles for your tagline on that forum for your account. So you could have like a title that said, gang member X or whatever. So my job, when they bought this, they sent a tech request, and I would take this tech request. I would open like a web console of sort, and then I had like a box where I could fill in basically HTML snippets at its core. So I could change the color, I could change if it was italic or bold or whatever. And to me, it was such insanity, because I was in this console and I updated code, I updated something, and then a website on the internet actually updated and reflected the changes that I made. So I was like, holy shit, I did this, or I made this change happen. And from there, I was like, just always been interested in IT, and I had like a hiatus there in the middle where I was kind of tired about school and tired about everything. So I actually went into construction. I didn't get a job, which is like everyone gets a job, but I didn't get a job somehow. So it's like a
Speaking of
huge
humbling
failure.
situations.
Yes. I was like a huge failure in that regard. But it was also the best, um, like a best thing to happen in disguise. I forget what the name is. A blessing in disguise, where a friend of mine recommended me to. Well, I'm working at this company, and I started working at that company. We were going out to a bunch of customer location sites and installing like point of sale computers and printers and yeah, those kinds of things. And it's just been like a journey from there. And since then, like 2015, I've been in the game, and I'm never leaving. So yeah,
And
yeah,
now, some years later, Grand Theft Auto number 6 still hasn't published.
yes. Uh, do you
Still
think it'll come out this year, or is it going to be postponed?
I don't think so.
Mm.
we'll see. I mean, the history tells that it will not be. So let's see.
I think they will have to wait for
Yeah.
PS6 because they are now removing the 5 and like upgrading it. So,
Yeah.
but great, yes, that was like.
Should we have one of those segments at the moment? We should.
You want to add? Okay.
Yeah, we should have one of the segments that we call survival kit. So if you only need to take 3 things and survive as an expert engineer, what would you bring?
What am I trying to survive? Am I on like an island or what?
You should survive your
Yeah.
working week with only 3 things. you
You have
Mm.
remember there is no team. It's you.
it's you, and you only have 3 things that you have to have to actually just be able to survive
Yeah.
that week.
And is bringing my computer, is that cheating or is that allowed?
No, it's not.
Well, yeah, I guess it's just like
Uh,
you have your computer.
Yeah, you have your computer.
yeah. Because we wouldn't be having this conversation if I didn't have it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
so yeah. Okay, so well, my computer then, obviously.
Mm.
And what else do I need? So I can't go a day without some sort of caffeine. So I would
Mm.
bring coffee. Uh, I think I have like one major vice in my life, I guess, and that's I consume way too much caffeine. So
Mm.
I need that big time.
Mm.
What else?
It
I
can
was
be
gonna
an
say my
extension,
code.
can be
Yeah,
something
Mm.
because you got the computer now,
yeah,
but you got nothing else actually.
yeah.
Yeah.
See, I got my computer, but I guess I would bring some. I would bring some dumbbells, so I can do my so I can do my mental reset, and then I can start working in with some more caffeine on my computer, and that's how I survive as an Azure engineer. Yeah.
Yeah,
So 3 things: computer, caffeine, and dumbbells. That's a
yeah,
good,
that's a good. Yeah,
that's a good
it's actually
toolkit.
it's a good toolkit,
Yeah.
and then you
7
can
days.
survive. Yes,
Yeah,
put
yeah,
those two things, and then you will be
Yeah.
doing magic.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, and it's good that now we like since we are bringing things now to places that we shouldn't have, and we are locked up somehow.
Mm.
So like once you are, let's say now we have been mentioning that you are really religious about rules and what kind of environment you have.
Mm.
So let's now, because people when they hear infrastructure and infrastructure as code, like those things are become quite now. It's big words, like really big. What you actually do,
Mm.
and if you go into an environment now, how would you start to analyze the infrastructure in this environment? If it's a
Yeah.
new client or
Mm.
something that you're going to start tomorrow with,
Mm.
what is your
Mm.
first approach?
So if you guys, Ahmed and Robin, were to hire me today,
Mm.
the first thing I would do is I guess we would need to set some expectations on what it is you are trying to accomplish.
Mm.
There will be clients who they're like, everything is on fire. I just want you to fix the thing. Just like sort it out.
Mm.
And then you're like working in one way, but
Mm.
then you could also introduce the notion of how would you want to, like, we're doing the things that are on fire right now, but how would you want to do things when we're not on fire? And I like to this was like a major shift in my mindset working as an Azure engineer as a whole,
Mm.
was that previously a lot of the time it could be that, yeah, Carl is the Azure guy, or Carl, Ahmed and Robin, they are our Azure guys.
Mm.
They're just gonna do, if it's Azure, just talk to them because they're just gonna help you.
Mm.
I've transitioned from that mindset to being like, no, me, Ahmed and Robin, we are not the Azure guys. We are the platform guys. We're gonna, like I mentioned a bit in the beginning, we are the enablers
Mm.
of the platform. So I'm not gonna write your application. I'm not gonna develop your application, but you are a developer and you need a platform. So I'm gonna help you get a landing zone. I'm gonna help you make sure that whatever you need to do, you are gonna be able to do it within your landing zone. I'm gonna provide some guardrails, of course, but
Mm.
it's always a balancing act of guardrails and autonomy. Like you have to, it's a tug of war. But in the end, I just want to make sure that you can do what you need to do so that you can focus on what you do best. So you can focus on writing the functions you have in your application. But then when you need some type of way of handling logging in your application, for example, then me as the application, me as the platform admin, I can say, yeah, no worries. I've actually made it so that you can use logging in this way. And that could be they deploy a Terraform module, or they do, like, I just enable the tools for them. And here again, like Simon Gottschlag has been super helpful for me, like hammering this home, that we're not trying to fix everything for the developers. We're trying to make sure that they have an environment that they can work in, but more importantly, that they have an environment that they can take responsibility for. If I go in and I do everything in their environment, they're not going to take responsibility for it, and they're not going to learn what they need to know in order to maintain their application. But that being said, you asked me, like, what would I do? You can introduce that notion, but you also have to make sure that you're going to need some buy-in from the client, because that it takes a lot of time, and it takes effort, and it takes like real effort. You have to establish ways of working. You have to make sure that everyone agrees that, yeah, but we're building the platform. It can look different, but we use infrastructure as code, and we use code reviews, and it's the same for everyone. And you get a landing zone, and there are these environments, and you can use them.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's been the major mindset shift for me. Where I am at my best is when we can deliver platforms and we can enable people.
It's a really good way to see it, and I 100% agree with you. That without, I would say you are enabling the platform, but you're putting the ground. Without this a strong infrastructure, uh, it doesn't matter how good is the code. If it's gonna be shaky, because usually I would say
Mm.
most of the errors comes up from misconfiguration on the network, or like your how you manage your identities, how do you like the logging, and
Yes.
how
We were talking about, sorry, we were talking about fires, and I thought about this. We have this meme in
Yes. That's fine.
this is fine, and the dog sits where the fire
Yes.
is. You
yeah.
talked about fires,
Yes.
and you were going where, like, when something happens and you just sit like there, like, "Ah, this is fine,"
Mm.
but you know that there's a big fire. Can you talk
Mm.
about something that has been feeling like this, and how did you solve it?
Mm. It's usually not the technical things that are on fire. Or, of course, the tech isn't working, and that's technical, obviously. But I found that in many cases, it's more about people and process in a way. So if I'm at somewhere where, yeah, this guy is pissed off because nothing is working, and he refuses to talk to this guy because this guy thinks he's an idiot, and they don't agree, and then it usually, if the working environment isn't well, which I have felt sometimes throughout the career, that then you're just sitting there and you feel like, yeah, this is fine, because because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what technical implementation I do if we don't solve the bigger issue here.
Yeah,
And it's that we need to be in agreement of where we're going and what we're gonna do. And it's gonna be different if you're talking to a CTO whose main responsibility is the money, or if you're talking to a developer whose main responsibility is technical code. So I don't know if that answered your question. It was,
It was a good answer. I mean, every
yeah.
answer you did was great.
yes,
So I just
I
wanted to, since I had this meme in person,
Mm.
I
in
wanted to.
person. Yeah.
You talked about fires, and I had to. Sorry.
But
Yeah.
it's really good. Also, it's a really good
Yeah.
angle to it. But and yeah, of course, it depends on who the person, and always there is a new perspective coming in.
Yeah.
Depends on the people involved.
Yeah.
Like I want to go back before also we go further in one thing now. We have I want to take another trend here, that
Yeah.
where we have,
Mm.
because we have Bicep, Terraform,
Mm.
infrastructure as code.
Mm.
No, I'm saying, I don't know what I'm saying now. It's
Mm.
the end of the phrase Friday. Sorry,
Mm.
but
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
you have people saying that you can use Bicep for everything. You need to use Terraform instead. Now there is people that saying that I can live without Terraform,
Mm.
and there is other, like, it's just, there's
Hmm.
many different schools, and right now in the what's happened, like in the market, there is something always new coming, and there is new practices.
Mm.
Like now we are in January 2026. What
Hmm.
is an infrastructure perspective here?
Mm.
Like you are in this and you are doing this day in and day out.
Mm.
What do you actually feeling that you need to keep up with now that you are not, that people need to look at currently?
Yeah, it's the boring answer is that AI is hot, but it also is a fun answer because it was like lately I've been also delving into that whole
Mm.
thing and like what is AI actually?
Mm.
Like what is it for real?
Mm.
So I've been learning about agents and the model context protocol. I've been learning all of these things, and the major aha moment for me has been the same that it is if you get a discussion about should I go Bicep or should I go Terraform, or should I use Claude or should I use ChatGPT or whatever, and I think maybe it's less about the product or tool you use and more about your process and principle for using it.
Mm.
So what I have gathered from watching people talk about it who are way smarter than I am and reading myself and experimenting is that if we take AI, for example, it's context is king, no matter what you're trying to do.
Mm.
And so people, sometimes I can see people complain that, yeah, it didn't solve what I needed, it's trash, it's not like doing what I want.
Yeah.
But you have to understand, I have a colleague, Alexander Lövdahl, he works
Mm.
at my company. He said something that resonated with me a lot, that is context. Like imagine you're talking to a new person or someone you don't know.
Mm.
So to give the example, I have a very elaborate process on how I write YouTube scripts.
Mm.
I use both Codex and Gemini in my CLI,
Mm.
and I have them pointed towards a repository that contains just a bunch of markdown files with instructions. So instructions is context. But if I just go to you guys, Ahmed and Robin, and imagine you've never seen a YouTube video of mine ever, and I go to you guys and I say, write me a YouTube script. And you're not allowed to say that you don't know how or that you don't want to or whatever. You have to write me a script.
Mm.
And then it's all about predictability, like what is the next word that is a prediction machine, very simplified.
Mm.
So you may give me a YouTube script and I may think this sounds nothing like what I usually do. This is not what I'm after. But then if we go back to my terminals where I have all these contexts, all these files, I took a few courses on how to write YouTube titles, how should you structure YouTube intros. It's like a whole science. I won't get into it. We would be here for hours. But I have like my personal notes of all of this is stored in these markdown files, which I'm telling Gemini, which I'm telling Codex or ChatGPT to, you have to follow the rules I've specified for you here. And whenever it is giving me something back that isn't what I want to see, it's on me to go back and update the context or update the instructions. So I have to update my agent's MD or my Gemini, I forget what the file is called, but I have to, and it's like an iterative process.
Yeah.
And it's, I had, for example, I have a way of brainstorming YouTube titles, and I have like a framework for how a YouTube title should be called. Believe it or not, that is a thing. It's
Mhm.
super important.
Mm.
And I found that, yeah, it is working, but after a few times of using it, it's giving me ideas that I've seen before that I've always rejected.
Mm.
So I go back and I update my instructions and I say, if I don't pick the title that you suggested, take this title and put it in a discarded.md. And before you suggest me a title, go into this file and look at this list.
Mm.
And don't suggest me a title that is in here.
Mm.
And then I get better output back. And it's the same thing. Now this example was about YouTube, but imagine I'm troubleshooting my pipelines.
Mm.
Mm.
If I just give an error message to GitHub Copilot and I say, I'm getting this error message, why? And it's gonna list a bunch of possible reasons. It's gonna do its best.
Mm.
But if I also tell it, no, but actually here is the reusable, it's a reusable workflow, here is the entire file,
Mm.
here is the workflow file I'm using where it's failing, it's coming from a different repository, I'm using a managed identity, then I get closer to figuring out
Mm.
what is the issue. Or even if it doesn't solve it for me, it points me in the right direction.
Mm.
So what is hot going forward? Everyone is going to say AI, but maybe people don't say AI for the right reasons. I want to say AI because if you use it with the right mindset and if you understand a little bit about it, so I would encourage people to understand a little bit about it,
Mm.
then you're going to have better results. And I just think that it is further enhanced for me in a way that I feel like, yeah, I'm not being replaced at all by this
Mm.
thing. I'm being enhanced by this thing because it's still me who is in charge.
Mm.
I'm still telling it what to do and what to look at, and I'm still saying, write the Terraform block this way. Don't use that provider.
Yeah.
And yeah, so
Yeah, exactly. It's this is well, like I really like how you describe the whole context thing. It's like
mm,
it's
I
a
would
hands
say
down.
I would say that I mean with your answer I would say that context is I mean that's what also shifted my mind from being like a first time ChatGPT user where you actually could see like but you do
mm,
this all the time blah 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 and you showed me but you should put all this all this in a project because the project will have its context and then I started doing that and then now I started with VS Code and Claude and just like bringing the right context in
Into the
what we should do and that's I mean that has been improved my AI
mm,
LLM
yeah.
work a lot.
Yeah, you
yeah,
think about it as a humans with like with no instruction or force it to do something. I see it because I have dogs and I see it as dogs. If you don't train them and tell them,
yeah,
you just say words that they don't understand, they will just sit there and stare at you.
Yeah.
What do you want? I will just want you to be happy, but I don't know how. You need to give the right command in the right
mm,
place with the right
yeah.
environment
Yeah.
to get a good dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if I look at a family member or someone who isn't in tech
Mm.
and they're using AI,
Mm.
but I can see that they're using it with the assumption that it is a machine that has facts.
Mm.
Like
Yeah, it's magic. Yeah,
yeah,
It
yeah,
just
and it
answers
just doesn't.
insanely fun things. Yeah,
yes,
Yeah,
yes, it's cool.
yeah.
That's it's a really good answer. And from that answer, I had a question. Now we will not be able to ask it because we clearly see that you are using AI 90% of your day. Because the question was about how much percent of AI usage.
oh, sorry.
No, but like now
Yeah,
we can anticipate that. So yeah, you are using it a lot, I assume,
Yeah.
right?
yeah, and if I yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to hijack
No, no, you don't have to have
the
it. That's
question,
good.
but
I love it. I'm just saying that it's
yeah.
good. That,
Yeah,
but
but it's like further reiterate that I think people I don't think people right now at least have to understand like exactly what goes under the hood of an LLM, but if they can just understand a little bit about context and that it is a prediction machine, not a fact machine, and then they can start. A recommendation is just there's a few quick starts with Docker Hub and Docker Desktop. You can launch an MCP
mm,
server through a container and then just use something like Claude Desktop and then hook it up to your Obsidian if you're using that. Or, I mean, be careful, but you can do some pretty fun things. And then that's really going to drive home that,
uh,
oh,
fast
yeah,
driving.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Myself, I went from ChatGPT. We are still friends, but now my best friend is Claude, the
Yes.
desktop.
Yeah,
Because I could connect the MCP servers that I already built in VS Code with the
Yeah.
Claude desktop, and now I feel like yeah, my mind is racing because
but
now I know
Yes.
now I know what I need to do.
for me, I love like technology overall. Anything about that, I want to learn new things. But now, like, I just want unfiltered reaction from you, a short one. Do you think that you need to learn code to continue, or like, or are we going to a new phase now that we have to start to work in a different way?
I would say there's nothing negative about learning code, like at any point in time.
No, I'm not talking about negative, but like, do you
Yeah.
need to have the same knowledge?
Depending on what you're trying to achieve. Are you thinking like staying relevant in tech,
Yeah.
for example? Or I wouldn't say it's a requirement. It's hard to say because it depends on what you're trying to achieve, basically. And I think it is only going to be a benefit to you always to understand some code. You don't have to be a prolific developer, but if you can, like myself, for example, I'm not a developer, but I can sit down and I can read code and I can methodically work through it and I can understand. And that in itself has brought me immense amount of opportunities and ideas and things I can do. So I would just say that as a general recommendation for life in tech is
That's yeah.
just to learn. Yeah.
That's really good, and like we have been uh, really glad to have you. I think we can keep talking for hours because I have now
Yeah.
we just jumped into the AI and we
Yeah,
could
no, it's always like this.
yeah.
So
Yes.
you
Yeah.
are definitely. I mean, we could talk
We
for
say, but like
hours.
you're also located in Gothenburg, so we might we are trying now to work on our physical podcast. So
Yeah.
maybe next time we're
Mm.
getting together.
Yeah, sure. I would love that.
Yeah,
Have the shout out here is that we are thinking about starting out like a think tank in Gothenburg, so we could like
Mm.
gather some
Yeah.
people, smart people, and discuss what to do next. I mean, we are all in this IT world, and if you're working with infrastructure or integrations or whatever, I think that we will be better if we learn from each other.
Agreed.
Yeah. Yeah, but good. And we definitely gonna be having an episode 2 with
Yeah.
you at some point somehow.
Yeah.
With some section. Maybe we can also bring out Simon since he's a mentor.
Yeah, I was asking. I mean,
Sure.
we normally have a question: which guest should we invite? But I mean, I think that you already.
But yeah, and I also had Simon already, but I didn't write it on our list. I already had
Okay.
thought about inviting him because I
Okay.
have been watching
Oh,
the videos from some
yeah.
time.
Yeah, definitely Simon. He's I am in awe of that man. I don't understand how he can know everything he knows, but he just
That's good.
is. Yeah.
But like I would have a question from you now because we're gonna be publishing this episode. So a question that we're gonna be asking publicly to people who is actually watching. What will be a question that people will be answering our publishing post about your episode that you want to send to everyone? One question.
Okay. My question would be, what do you plan to, what aspect of your life do you plan to improve with AI? Or rather, what project do you intend to build with AI? Or a
Completely
hybrid
with
of
AI
those two?
from A to Z.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, I'm just trying to put some
Yeah.
So thank you for
Sorry,
joining us
not a
today.
good question, but
It was pleasure to have you here. And
Definitely. Great answers.
it was,
Talk again, definitely.
yeah, definitely. Thank you for having me. It was super fun. So thanks a lot. I would definitely be up for a in-person episode too.
thank you.